Something feels different in the air at Lucas Oil Stadium right now. It's a quiet tension that every real Colts fan can sense. We were told this was the future, the cornerstone of our franchise, but now the walls seem to be closing in on a reality no one expected. It's hard to talk about, but as the faithful, we have to face what's happening behind the scenes. If you bleed blue and white and want to stay ahead of the next major move, hit that subscribe button and like this video. We're in this together through everything always. Anthony Richardson was supposed to be the one. When he was drafted 4th overall, the energy was electric. But here we are, looking at a depth chart that feels like a gut punch. The trade request that never happened, the declined 5th-year option, and now the realization that he is not even locked in as the backup. Daniel Jones has the keys to the kingdom now, and that is a sentence I never thought I would say a couple of years ago. It feels like the organization has silently moved on, leaving Richardson in this awkward limbo where he has to fight for his life just to be the insurance policy. But here is the thing that really keeps me up at night. It is not just about who the backup is. It is about the total collapse of a vision we all bought into. We are seeing Riley Leonard come in with this grit and determination that has the coaching staff's attention, and suddenly, the guy with the incredible athleticism is looking over his shoulder. It is a messy situation. You have to wonder what is happening in those meeting rooms. Is the relationship between Richardson and Shane Steichen beyond repair? When you look at how the offseason played out, the writing is on the wall. They allowed him to seek a trade, and when nobody bit, they brought him back like a ghost in the building. It is heavy, man. For a fan base that has been through the Luck retirement and the carousel of veterans, this feels like another layer of heartbreak. We want to believe in the comeback story, the redemption arc where he finally clicks and becomes the superstar we envisioned. But the reality is cold. He is fighting a rookie contract clock that is ticking louder every single day. If he can't beat out Riley Leonard, what does that say about the last 3 years? It is not just a roster battle, it is an identity crisis for the Indianapolis Colts. We are watching a high-stakes gamble play out in real time, and the tension is palpable. Every practice snap, every preseason throw, it all carries this massive weight because one mistake could mean the end of his time in Indy. We just want answers. This is where things get really complicated for us as fans. If you look at the physical tools, there is no contest. Richardson has the kind of arm talent that makes your jaw drop and the rushing ability that should make defenses terrified. But as we have seen, potential does not win games if you are standing on the sideline with an orbital bone fracture or a hand injury. The most frustrating part of this narrative is that Richardson has had the time. He sat behind Jones. He watched Phillip Rivers. He has had every opportunity to soak up knowledge from the greats. Yet, the accuracy issues still linger like a dark cloud. When you watch the tape from that preseason game against the Ravens, it is hard not to wince. He missed a free rusher because he was staring down the wrong side of the field. That is a year 3 mistake that you just cannot have from a franchise-altering talent. Now compare that to what we saw from Riley Leonard. Leonard is not as flashy, and he does not have the wow factor that Richardson brings. But he has that it factor when the lights are brightest. His performance against the Texans was eye-opening. He did not just play, he competed. He showed a level of polish and decision-making that Richardson has struggled to find consistently. That creates a massive risk for the front office. Do they stick with the raw ceiling of Richardson, hoping he finally puts it together, or do they pivot to the safety of Leonard? It is a decision that could define Shane Steichen's legacy here. If they keep Richardson as the QB3, his trade value plummets to 0. But if they play him, and he fails again, the season could derail before it even starts. The pressure on the coaching staff to make the right call is immense. We are talking about the chemistry of the entire locker room. Players see who is performing in practice. They know who gives them the best chance to win if Daniel Jones goes down. The uncertainty is creating this invisible tension that everyone can feel but no one wants to talk about openly. It is a tightrope walk, and one wrong step could send the whole season into a tailspin today. But this is where things change. This is not just about a backup battle. It is about the total loss of faith in a prospect that was supposed to save us. Every time we think Richardson is ready to take that leap, something pulls him back. Whether it is an injury or a mental error, the pattern is becoming impossible to ignore. And that is the biggest question facing the Colts right now. If Riley Leonard wins this job, Anthony Richardson's career in Indianapolis is effectively over. You do not recover from being the 4th overall pick and falling to 3rd on the depth chart behind a journeyman and a rookie. It becomes a distraction. It becomes a story that the media will not let go of. And for a team trying to compete in a tough AFC South, that is the last thing we need. We need stability. We need to know that if the worst happens, the guy coming off the bench can lead a drive. Can Richardson do that? Or is he always going to be the guy who could have been? The emotional toll on the fans is real. We have invested so much hope into his jersey, into his highlight reels, and now we are staring at the possibility of him being a healthy scratch on Sundays. Because this could become something much bigger than just a depth chart move. It could be the catalyst for a total overhaul of the quarterback room. If Leonard proves he is the real deal, the Colts might just cut their losses and move on entirely. That thought is terrifying because it means we are back to square one. We are back to searching for a savior while our Super Bowl window with this roster slowly begins to close. The stakes could not be higher. This is about more than just 2026. It is about the next decade of Colts football. We are watching the slow-motion collapse of a dream, and it is happening right in front of our eyes. Every practice report feels like a judgment. Every comment from Steichen feels like a hint. The tension is reaching a breaking point, and honestly, I do not know if the franchise is ready for the fallout right now. I am going to be honest with you guys. This actually worries me deeply. I really like the Richardson pick. I was the one telling everyone to be patient, to give him time to grow, to let the athleticism translate. But seeing where we are now, it is getting harder and harder to defend. I want to see him succeed more than anyone, but you cannot ignore the grit that Riley Leonard brings to the table. When you see a guy go into Houston and almost pull off a miracle, that stays with you. It stays with the coaches. I think fans should pay attention to how much the team is talking up Leonard's maturity. It feels like they are laying the groundwork for a transition. This could be incredible if Leonard is a hidden gem, or this could become a massive problem if we lose Richardson for nothing. My gut tells me that Richardson has one last chance during this training camp to prove he is more than just a workout warrior. He has to show he can read a defense. He has to show he can stay healthy. If he does not, I think the Shane Steichen era is going to take a very different turn than we expected. I really like the move of bringing in competition, but it feels like the competition is already over before it started. It is a weird feeling being a Colts fan right now. There is this cautious optimism about the roster as a whole, but this gaping hole of uncertainty at the most important position. I am torn. Part of me wants to believe in the magic of Richardson one more time. The other part of me is tired of the what-ifs. We deserve a quarterback room that does not feel like a house of cards. This battle for the backup spot is going to tell us everything we need to know about the future of this team. If Richardson falls to QB3, the experiment is officially over. We need to be ready for whatever comes next, because the foundation of this team is shaking, and we are all just holding our breath waiting for the final decision to be made soon. The reality is that the next few weeks are going to be some of the most pivotal in recent Colts history. We are not just talking about a roster spot. We are talking about the legacy of a front office and the direction of a franchise that is desperate to get back to the top. Will Anthony Richardson finally tap into that legendary potential and reclaim his place? Or is the Riley Leonard era as the ultimate insurance policy already here? It feels like the story is not over, but the chapters are running out. There is so much left to be decided on the field, and the tension inside the building must be through the roof. I want to hear from you, the real Colts faithful. Do you still believe Richardson can turn it around and secure that backup spot? Or is it time to admit that Leonard is the more polished option for this team right now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, because this is a conversation we need to have. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to stay in the loop as this drama unfolds. Being a fan of this team is not always easy, but it is always worth it. We will be here every step of the way, watching, waiting, and hoping for the best. See you in the next one, and as always, let's go Colts. The future is uncertain, but we are facing it together.